We're here at the Members Lounge in the Clamshell, and we have a citizen who has been listening to the report by Michael Shapcott from Wellesley Institute, and she has something to share with us. And your name is?
Julie Beddoes.
And how did it go today?
Well, I'm thrilled with Michael's program. He's not a frivolous person, and if he says it can be done, I believe that it can be done. I just wish it was more and faster. 4,500 a year doesn't sound a lot given the nature of the problem.
4,500
units he was talking about. That doesn't seem enough, but you know, it's better than we've got now. But the thing that's really bugging me these days is that although we've been promised reforms of the OMB so that developers wouldn't be able to appeal decisions by elected bodies, those reforms haven't been enacted. It hasn't happened. And on the waterfront sites, through a lot of community work, but also through a very supportive public agency, the Waterfront Corporation, we have got high standards of environmental sustainability and quantities of affordable housing into the bylaws for those sites. Where the sites are currently in public ownership, where the sites are currently public owned, the Waterfront Corporation can act as landowner and impose the development contracts they choose to impose. Where the sites are owned by private landlords, they just refuse to meet those standards. And if the city had passed a zoning bylaw requiring them to, they would have gone straight to the OMB and it would have been thrown out. And that causes me much grief and consternation. I don't see why private developers who are having money poured into their lap through public initiatives like rezoning, like building a very comprehensive, attractive infrastructure on the waterfront, seeing the value of their sites multiply, can then not be expected to give full benefit back to the community. I think the province has let us down on that, and they should be called to account.
Well, we have an election coming up provincially next year. We would have the opportunity to call them to account then. We have an election in a few days municipally, and these councillors and the candidates for council, including myself, are much closer to these issues that you've just spoken of in the last few moments. What message do you have, or what would you hope to happen in the few days leading up to the election and then on election day?
Well, first of all, everyone should elect councillors who will support every possible initiative to solve the housing problem. But there are limits to what the city can do. The city could have passed a zoning bylaw for the waterfront that would have said private landlords have to build to certain standards. It wouldn't have got them anyway. It might have got us no affordable housing at all if it was thrown out by the OMB. So we have to settle for the little bit of crumbs that they're willing. And the provincial election, I mean, the problem in Toronto is the Liberals can't lose seats, the Tories can't win them. So neither of them has any interest in doing anything for Toronto. If we had marginal seats, believe me, things would be very different. But we're a write-off for the Tories, and the Liberals, will go. I don't say me, but other people will go on voting for them no matter what they do.
This almost sounds like Harold Ballard's Toronto Maple Leafs. They kept losing, and we kept buying the gold seat tickets.
I mean, it's a real catch-22. But I don't know what kind of disaster it will take to get people to recognize how serious this is. I mean, a big epidemic, who knows?
Well, God forbid.
God forbid.
But I would like to leave it on a hopeful note. Any little bit of perhaps a crumb of hope in the housing situation that you heard today that left you with a glimmer of inspiration? Anything?
Well, I don't know.
So I've been laid off. In other words, I've been laid off.
These meetings are always preaching to the choir. You know, everyone in the room is all fired up and anxious, but outside this room, where it'll fall off a cliff. And I'm really sorry about that. You know, when Michael quotes the Bank of Nova Scotia and the Board of Trade and how supportive they are for affordable housing, why don't they talk to their clients who will go straight to the OMB the second they're asked to build it? I mean, I I think if we're relying on the banking industry to solve the problem, we're in real trouble.
And we'll leave it at that. Thank you very
Okay.
much for your thoughts. Your name is?
Julie.
Julie, and do you know what ward that you're in?
28. We have a great councillor. Vote for Pam.
Vote for Pam McConnell?
Absolutely.
There we go.
She's the best.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay. Good luck.
I hope you get 2,000 votes.
At least.
At least.
Thank you.
If not more.
Whereabouts is Ward 19?
It's Bathurst, Koreatown, Christie, DuPont the Tracks, Dovercourt, and the CNE.
So Dovercourt is how north? Far north?
Right to the railroad tracks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because
Okay.
I'd say my son is north of there because I want Bravo to get in.